you were there when there was a lot of legends or would come in every now and then, or they were just part of the system. Let's talk about some of the people that we grew up watching that you had a chance to actually work with. Because whenever I get to wrestle like the Honky Tonk Man or Tito Santana,
Yeah.
there's a voice in my head saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm walking up with Tito Santana." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me just name some legends that were there when you were there. Tell me if they gave you any feedback, any fun stories. Fabulous Moolah.
I met her one time. She was on a show with May, and they were coming in for like a super short like skit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they they were just like in their own world. So they were already in the locker room, and they were just kooky little old ladies, like chilling and like having a good time in the locker room. Like I just said hi. It's so nice to meet you, and I didn't really kind of because they had like their own little like girly friendship thing, and they were sweet. But they were just like Mula and May were just so kooky in their own little world. So it was fun to watch them like bicker and then like giggle and you know, but they were, they're older, so they, poor May at that point, they were just kind of like older ladies that were just kind of hanging out, so
Right.
doing their own thing. So yeah, they were fun. I think Ricky Steamboat was the biggest like moment for me because he's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Me
So
too.
to not only meet him, but have him like agent our matches and
Wow.
just talking to him. And I'm sure he said the same stories over and over again, but it was able to be like, he would say in just conversation, I would talk about like how he put matches together and, and he said that and he would do this a lot after he told me this, and or at least I noticed him starting to do it because now he brought it to my attention. He would go in the stands and literally think of the match in his mind and picture like look at the ring and picture the match in his head just going as he had planned it. So that's how he would kind of put his matches together, is just take his own little peace and quiet time away and think of the match and put these like see himself doing these things in the ring. So I would see him now after he says it, then I would see him, oh, there's Ricky sitting over there and stands by himself, So he was probably my most favorite because he was just one of my favorite wrestlers to be able to sit down and talk to. Dusty was not only amazing to talk to, but his personality, oh my gosh, the way he's so funny and he was so sweet to me and he just loved the character. And, you know, you could professionally get advice from him. He would talk you through things and then he would just be so chill and your friend and just be able to like shoot the shit and like be so funny. And it was like, oh my God, I'm like cracking jokes with Dusty Rhodes and like we're going like back and or him and Cliff would really go back and forth. Like they had such a banter. Um, so those are really, really fun.
Any advice the American Dream gave you that you can
Oh
remember?
my God, just be true to yourself. He was very much about that person that says your character is an extension of you. And he just had, as other people say, he just had that way of knowing if you were faking it or if you
Mm-hmm.
were really pulling from yourself. Um, he really loved the group idea. Um, so he loved the dynamic. He got the dynamic very quickly with the boys being the heels and me being the baby face, and he loved that dynamic. And it was just all about like you think you're connected to yourself and your soul and your character, but you're not. Dusty can see it. He can pull that from you. So um yeah, he was great. It's just such a loss. Yeah, Dusty.
What about Roddy Piper? Any stories with Roddy Piper?
I know I never got to interact with him. He was there in passing. I never got to really interact with him. Vince was shockingly very sweet and nice. So I was a little nervous about approaching him. But so in Legends, I mean, he's a legend, really, to be
Yeah.
able to have the guts to kind of knock on his door and go in and have a conversation. Um, to have him so gracious too. And everybody's like, oh, he's such a dick. He's so this, that, and the other thing. Not to me and not to other people. I mean, to me, I felt like he had people that could be the bad guy. He didn't
Right.
have to be. Um,
Right.
and if he was, I would understand. He's a billionaire. He's a huge mind for the business, but he was so gracious to allow me to talk to him and take his time. And of course, I didn't take too much of his time, but that was you know, when I approached Undertaker for the first time, gosh, what a cool dude. Like he was so great. I was like, hey, like, hi, I'm, so nice to meet you. Like, and this is I'm on the roster. I'm Cherry. I'm like a talent with them. I'm a peer, up here. And I just said, hey, do you mind watching our match? I would love feedback. And he's like, absolutely. Like he was just so like,
Nice.
it's like when you cross over to that position where you're actually now working with them to, they're just people. And I guess that's
Right.
what everybody just kind of, you're in awe because you're a fan, but then like they're just people. They're just so great. So yeah, those are some legends. Rick Martell and Tony Garea. Ah, Tony
Oh gosh,
Garea.
I saw Tony Garea like 2 months ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
He's the
Tony came on my show, and but I saw him like 2 months ago, and he was he was always in charge of the enhancement talent. So I worked with
yes.
Tony so
Yeah.
many times.
His
What was
his accent and his voice is just I just keep talking. I love it.
what was Rick Martel there for?
He did the um the pay-per-view with us. What was it?
Oh, you guys, did you work with him?
And
No, Night of
we
Champions.
United
You guys
Champions.
worked
Yeah, we wrestled Slaughter and Snuka,
Snuka, yeah,
and then they jumped the rail. Oh my God. Cliff was so excited to like get to bump for Martel and Garea.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fun. It was
I
so
know.
fun. And
I
just
can't
for
believe
Jimmy to wrestle his dad, like it was so cool. What a moment.
I can't believe Rick and Tony aren't in the Hall of Fame.
I know.
I mean,
Well, they should be.
How is Tony Garea? He's been there 20 something. He was there like over 20 years, not in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's very odd.
I know. They should be. They're oh my gosh. His accent. Korea's accent. Well, Martell's too, but oh my
Yeah.
gosh, she's so great.
Anything you want to plug?
Well, my Instagram, DDC Chick, is out there. I have Twitter or X or whatever they're calling. So that's former Diva Cherry. So FMR Diva Cherry. And I'm actually working on some new exciting business skills and events coming up. So keep an eye on my Instagram because I'm going to post it on my stories. I'm kind of working on something really exciting I want to share soon. So keep an eye on that. But other than that, those are the social medias I have. I don't have Facebook, at least now. So, but yeah, I'd love to hear anybody who wants to reach out. I've got photos, I've got some other stuff coming up. So, yeah.